Hello and welcome to today's session. You may notice that the account is now 300k. Unfortunately, took a few trades yesterday that did not work out. And if we'll have a look at the analysis, and basically what happened was the trade did exactly what I was expecting a little after the trading session. So we made a bit of money, but not enough. And I got back in a couple of times, made about 50 odd, and then got in long, hoping for a rejection off these low points, which happened multiple times. But basically the market went in line with my analysis and I went against it. And this is the whole thing around trusting in the analysis rather than trying to make money where you just have a feeling that it might go the right way. So trying to stay in line with the analysis is a critical point to my trading. That's something that I'm going to work on improving here in these live sessions. But basically the analysis was to go spike up a little bit and then push down towards the close gap at the open. Took a little while to get there, so made a couple of errors there, and I've basically gone into the max drawdown for the Apex 25k, but I've now got a 300k account here to continue attempting these live sessions and try and pass to get funded with Apex Trader funding. Now, the reason for, I guess, the 300k, it's a lot more flexible when it comes to the drawdown in a sense of I guess trading on the actual FDAX full index rather than the micros, and aiming for, I guess, a little bit more income compared to the 25k. So there's a bit more incentive to really hone in and focus on passing these accounts. We've got the pivot points here for the day. Basically, we've got the S3 and R3 and all the points in between. We can see that the close price is just a little bit below where we are right now, and we've kind of been hovering on these lows here. So what I'm anticipating is perhaps we'll come down, touch this close gap. If we don't within the pre-market, we'll come down, and then I expect that the market may rally. The only thing to watch, the close gap. So we've got the 24th of June 2025. There was a close gap that it's basically an unfilled gap. That forms a strong target, and it's within the pivot point. So it's getting closer. It's getting more realistic that we will hit that at some point. So there is that concern that we may breach all of these lower pivot points, so the S1 breakout short and S2, come down and touch that close gap and perhaps reverse off it. So that's a close gap from back in June that was unfilled. On the 5 minute, we're on the Bollinger Band upper, and basically that's not a super strong indication. So if we kind of spike too much higher at the open, that's that may help us. But alternatively, we kind of are hovering kind of close to this close gap. I will be looking for some potential buys just on the basis of the layout of the session. Thanks, Trader Dan. Great to see you got that account, and yeah, thanks for coming back. Really good to see you. Now, what we're looking for is, hopefully a bullish day. We'll trade back inside of where we were trading yesterday in that same sort of range-bound existence. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. I'm going to go check the other time frames now, just so we don't miss anything along the way. So we go to the M15, kind of sitting around the lows. It's hovering on this support. Maybe the market open will change that. But from this perspective, this could be a really good buying area if we kind of pull back sharply or an impulsive move to take us in long. Obviously watching out for the people targeting that close gap today, the unfilled close gap I should say. On the 15-minute we are at the high Bollinger Band in current price. It's important to note, but nothing too special in the 15-minute. On the M30, quite similar. We've got this price activity down here, which I guess if we pull back and reject off this kind of action, that supports a potential buy. If we break lower though, I'd imagine this market may be going down to fill this gap. On the H1, I guess very similar to the M30. So we're, I guess, on the lower side of the Bollinger Bands, which gives us reason to believe that we may be bullish today. H4, quite similar, but you know, it's in between the mid and the low. So nothing too strong on the 4-hour either. On the daily, looks like we've really been coming down over the past series of days from this point to down here. So you know, we are tracking towards that close gap. It tried to fill it around around this time back here, but basically it rejected and went long. I think it filled the extreme gap. There was an extreme gap up here. It got filled, but it didn't go all the way to the close. So that's important to know. We're still waiting on this close gap to get filled at some point in the future. It may not be today though. On the weekly, we've had 1, 2, 3. We're on our 4th week of red candles or bearish candles. So it has been quite bearish activity of late. Generally, you'd want to stay in line with the direction of the market at the moment. So, you know, potentially if we do find a good opportunity to get short, you know, we may look at taking that. Just going to hit the auto scroll, take us to the front. So essentially, I'm just going to be looking for opportunities today based on how the market opens. I can't see anything that's indicating too much detail as to where we're going to go based on the pre-market layout of the pivot points. So I'm going to be relying on the order flow, hopefully some impulsive moves in particular directions, and you know, maybe a bit less in terms of the ranging markets. So like we saw yesterday, it kind of hovered around a level, didn't pick a direction for a good sort of hour, and then eventually went in the direction we were looking for. But it took a little bit too long. So we'll see what today brings anyway. Hopefully we get a nice impulsive move into one of these levels or outside the Bollinger Bands. And perhaps we can pick a direction and try and get this account into profit to kick us off. So we've got 6.5 minutes till the open. I'm now going to have a look at the order flow, see if there's anything there. 14 contracts down on the 23,600. So that may form an important price in market hours potentially. That's on the full DAX contracts. 22 down here. Just looking for what kind of numbers we're going to be looking for when the market heats up. So we've got a 10 up here. That's still quite light in the scheme of it because we've got a couple of 17s. So we're just trying to build a bit of a picture as I do each day and try and figure out where the market's heading. On the 300k, there is a 7.5k drawdown or max trailing drawdown. And the target, I believe, is about 20k. So if I can get this account to 320k, then I will be eligible for a funded account with Apex Trader funding. So I'm going to be trading a little bit heavier. We're going to see some bigger numbers on this account compared to the 25k. We will be trading on the main index just to start it off, because the bigger account means we can take a little bit more heat throughout the session. It will also help, probably help me with my patience and just waiting, because if I get the right entry and get onto the right movement, then the rewards will be a lot bigger than the 25k account will provide. But it's still, obviously on the 25k, you're still looking at good money if you can remain consistent. So we'll see how it goes anyway. I'm still going to analyze the market, talk it through with you guys, and just see what actually happens during the live session. I will, I guess, disclose that today I don't particularly have a strong opinion either direction, but the general nature of the DAX is to be bullish. So we've had some support off these lows. I have some concern that we will get down to this unfilled gap from 24th of June. And I just note that if there's any unfilled gaps, I try and note them along the way, because they do form important targets in the future. But on the flip side, if we have a nice strong pullback and we see the market starting to reject that price and start to go long, or any indication that the order flow says, okay, there's a big order sending the market long, then we'll be looking to get in and see where we can take that. So not too much in the way of analysis today. Obviously, we've got these high Bollinger Band points, which indicates that hopefully we will come towards this close gap. But basically just waiting for the open in about 3 minutes time. Guys, I do still have, I think, a couple of free accounts to give away as well. I think there's maybe 2 or 3 left. So get active in the chat, give me a bit of back and forth, and if I give you a shout out at the end of the session, I'll just get you to email me to get your free account code for Apex Trader Funding. So that's any account size, any platform on Apex Trader Funding, and it's free evaluation for 1 month. So pretty exciting stuff. If you want to get your free account, just a bit of back and forth, and there's a good chance you'll be the winner. A lot of the guys that come back are repeat viewers, and they've already won an account. So pretty good chance that you'll be the winner if you give me a bit of back and forth and you're new. So 2 minutes till the open. If we start to push up without hitting that close gap, I'd be looking for a really impulsive move up to this R1, and hopefully a rejection off that to then take us short, because from here we're not considered as a closed gap. What is it? It's about sort of at least 20 points away. In the pre-market, if that opens and just goes long, this will still remain unfilled for the day. And if we get a really strong rejection, kind of like, let's say we see that ask contract massive, let's say it's 30 contracts, and you've got really thin order volume here, and then followed by a lot of bid coming in to push it down, then I will consider getting short. There is always that potential, though, that the market may just have one of those big rally days, just ignores all the levels and powers up. So we've always got to be aware of just every situation that can occur. You just got to try and do your best with what information you've got. If I mute the mic, guys, I'm still watching the market, but I may just mute from time to time if something comes up I've got to deal with. But I will be back to commentate, I guess, what I'm seeing and what I'm experiencing here on the live market. As I mentioned, it is a 300k Apex Trader Funding evaluation. It's new as of today, so had a bit of a run-in with the analysis versus execution yesterday. Hi Treklord, did that help you out? Were you able to find the Eurex? And we're live. Market's coming down. Hopefully we'll get all the way to this close gap. If we get kind of close, then I'll consider it filled, but for the moment, just waiting to see what the market gives us. There's quite a bit of volume here on the FDAX Minis. Just waiting for that market to really push in one direction before we hit the button. So I think that's filled now. So I'm tempted to look for long positions. If I see the opportunity, I see the market moving, I'm going to get long. So I'm going to just buy one contract. This is building up quite a bit. I don't think that's a sell limit personally. So we'll see how we go. So each point is $25. If we can get a bit of momentum long, I'll be very happy. We're sitting at 100 odd euro. So this is all based in euro versus the account's actually in USD, so that's important to note. And I just want to hopefully wait this out a little bit if I can. But I might just put a tight stop in there at the 50 and just hope this market pushes up, because I don't want to be caught out with massive volume coming the wrong way. And hopefully I can just get back in. If it does do a sharp push in the wrong direction, I can get back in perhaps at a better price. But I've locked in at hopefully about $50 or 50 euro I should say, and then that converts to USD. It's kind of hovering. I'm not sure if we're going to get the lift off that I'm looking for, but you never know. No, so slight loss there. So we had a couple of dollars loss. Going to try and get back in. There we go. I'm going to buy. Oh. So I hit buy, but it didn't quite take me in. I've just gotten back in because there was more volume at this price. I think that's quite good. The subscription, yeah. So basically, if you get the subscription, it lasts for any account. So if you cancel your Apex account and then get another one like I have here, you will get you will keep the Eurex. So basically, Tradovante's charging you rather than Apex Trader Funding. And I think even if you don't have a live Apex account, but you're still paying the Tradovate, it still works out. So you can still get the order flow if you've got other trading like I do. So we're in for one contract. I'm hoping we're going to get a rejection off this close gap. We've got about $50 worth of slippage there, which is a bit frustrating, especially when it was a limit order. But I guess that's what you deal with when you're in trading around these volatile times. So you do get a bit of slippage even when it's limit orders, because it's based off the real centralized exchange, which is what I guess makes it better in some senses than the CFD brokers. It's quite even, so 35 to 23. I'm really hoping there's a really strong buyer here saying that's as low as we want to go, but may not be the case. So I'm just waiting it out. It's really hanging around this price, not getting much movement at all, while the market figures out what direction it actually wants to go. It seems to be pushing lower a bit easier than it's going long over the last minute or so. $250. Okay. So if we don't get some sort of indication that we're going to change direction, I'll try and get out of this position and perhaps look for a long. But that 11 contracts, I'm hoping that's aggressive buying. Just because of the location of that, I'm hoping it's going to build into a long position and take us in the right direction. We're still only about 5 or 6 points away, so I just need a bit of upward momentum. Hopefully the DAX will find its natural bullish condition and bias, but at the moment we're not quite seeing that. 21 contracts, it's looking strong, but perhaps it's not going to be enough, so we've just got to let it play out a little bit, because I don't want to get out too early, only for the market to perhaps turn around. And that's 13 contracts. I'm sure that's a aggressive buyer pushing that market up. Again, this isn't financial advice, guys. I'm just basically having a go at a prop firm challenge and sharing my experience. Bit of momentum, very thin volume here, which is a bit concerning. I'm not too sure what that means. Is that basically that it's not going to catch on? Or it's going to shoot right through, because there's no opposing sellers to kind of capture the buyers coming in. That's good to know. I guess for me, it's about being able to read the market as well. I find the DAX responds really well, and also the time when it's quite active is quite good for me as well. But it's definitely something to consider if you can read the other markets quite well. This is basically the action that I was hoping for. So we had a push down, connected with this close gap, and then we're pushing higher now. As for a target, I'm not sure where it's likely to go. I am hoping it sort of goes up towards this breakout long, but we'll have to get through this pivot first. That is, if this isn't just a small retracement and will continue to the downside. It's kind of hovering. I'm just really waiting to see some sort of indication, either long or short. I'm hoping we are going to fade this gap properly, but at this stage we're just waiting for the market to take a particular direction. Heading down back to where these aggressive buyers were. We'll see if we get picked up again. If not much order comes in on the aggressive buying side. So that was a bit of a jump there, so hopefully there's some buying. But if they don't hold, we could be going down a lot further. Basically just waiting to see if we can get a good rejection. It's not all that promising that we've kind of faded and we've formed quite a wick here. We've only got 30 seconds on this candle as well, on the 5 minute, so I may just get out. Just watching the depth of market, watching the order flow for any indication that we might either turn back around or simply continue falling. I've just dropped this depth of market thing down. There is an option to reverse and cancel, so I can basically reverse the order that I'm in. I'll keep it at exit at market and cancel for the moment though. I'm hoping this 8 contract will hold, but if we don't, I'm tempted to just reverse this situation. It's another 8 contracts versus 6. There's more ask volume versus the bid. Some of these may be limit buyers as well. We just need to see if they can actually hold this price or not, because we probably have people looking to push the market down towards this unfilled gap, which I'm tempted to target if we don't get any sort of buying activity. Set it to reverse and cancel now, just so if I decide to reverse the order, actually when I clicked that to set the setting, it's reversed me anyway, so I'm already short instead of long, and now I'm just hoping that the market will continue dropping towards this unfilled gap down here. So you can see at the bottom, basically it closed me out for 600 loss when I clicked. So I went down and I clicked one of these options and it was reverse and cancel, so it closed out the trade and put the opposite order on. So I was long, it closed that, and then it sent me short when I clicked in the drop down. So I thought if I clicked here, it would let me just have that as a button so that I can quickly access it, but that wasn't the case. So as soon as I hit that, it reversed my order. Just important to be aware of that situation. I'm not sure the previous day's low will hold. We'll just have to wait and see. Obviously watching the order flow as usual, but I'm hoping that the market will just drop very thinly, spread out. S1 breakout short and S2, there's not really any strength to those levels from a visual perspective. So it's really just about hoping these levels don't hold and we continue this bearish direction that we've seen on the daily chart. So I'll just quickly go over to the daily chart. It's been quite bearish for the most part. We've had a couple of bullish candles, but we are down at this, I guess, low point on the 4 hour. So it's just kind of in between everything. The levels aren't telling us anything too powerful, and just hoping that this market really pushes down. On the FDAX Minis, we've got 20 and a 17. It might be limit order buyers saying, right, this is low enough, we'll send it long, followed by the 8 and the 11. But there is the chance that it is the opposite, and these are aggressive sellers from this level. In terms of this little picture, it doesn't really paint too much information for me at the moment. I'm just waiting out, hoping that we will continue lower. Sitting around the midline Bollinger Band, just waiting at the moment. I'd expect a lot more volume to basically turn this kind of bearish situation around. but perhaps I was incorrect on that. We're on a new 5-minute candle now. Hopefully this was just them, the market capturing a few buyers looking to get long and then trap them into a short. So we'll see if that plays out. If this is quite strong, I might have to just exit this position as well. Just hoping this close gap holds for anyone to take the market short. There's no huge reason why the market will kind of hold at this level and continue lower from the close gap on its own, in my opinion. So I'm just hoping that the market is actually wanting to stay bearish and keep heading towards this close gap. So the opinion, I guess, isn't all that strong. It's not a trade that I'm thinking, oh, this is a really strong indication that we're going a particular direction. Kind of just trading by feel based on what I see. But it's not a super strong setup. As I mentioned in the pre-market, all these levels are quite spread out. And perhaps the market may not do what I'm expecting today because I don't have a target in mind. The only target would probably be this close gap, or for longs up to this breakout long up here. Just waiting it out and seeing what happens. Quite a lot of bid side orders, so you've got potentially limits up here followed by all this bidding. So aggressive sellers hitting that side, trying to push the market lower. We've got 14 contracts there. While that could be a limit buy kind of situation, I can't see why they would get in at this price with that type of order. So I'm hoping it's going to continue lower. But it's really slow moving. Not getting the kind of reaction that I really hope for. So I may have to just exit this position if we don't get a bit of reaction shortly. Like this. Bit of movement. If we can break through this pricing structure here, I'll be quite happy. Obviously in the pre-market we've got the previous day's low which held. But the pre-market may not be the best indication for what we're looking for. So I'm hoping it just sort of pushes straight on through that. We've got 19 contracts over here, which may indicate aggressive buying on the mini DAX, but we haven't really seen any indication on the full contracts. That's a shame. Yeah, that's why I've changed accounts, because I continued trading after the live session. So hopefully we get a nice strong movement on this one today. Just needed to break this price, I'm hoping. If we get past that low, we've got a fair distance before there's anything. There we go. That's better. And then that's a big contract there. That's 35. I think I want to get out. So I've gone short. So I want to go. What did I get? So it was about $400 there, which is a bit of a recovery from the initial loss. And I'll be looking. That's a big order there. It's a really big order. So 39 and 33. I'm tempted to go long from here. I'm not sure if it's big enough to send the market in a particular direction, but we are off the previous day's low. So we'll see. Maybe we'll range within this this kind of volume profile that we've got. Perhaps we'll go back up towards the 23,665. But if we do break this low, we might be in some strife. So I'll quickly reverse and cancel if we do break lower. So that's the good thing about the 300k account. I can sort of chop and change a bit quicker. It's not make or break if I have a slight loss, because I've got a lot more room to play with, particularly when trading the DAX. It's okay for Forex when you're trading, or like, you know, you're trading smaller contracts sizes, you can get in and out and chop and change quite a bit. But on the DAX, it's a bit less forgiving because it's €25 per point. So I have a feeling we may continue going short here, but I just want to see if we get a reaction from these bigger contracts first. So I'll be quick on the trigger if we do start dropping. But I'm hoping this 39 and 33 volume profile will be enough to send us into the right direction. A lot further than this, obviously. My ideal situation would be to ideally just have a slight profitable day. That would be ideal situation on day one. So we need probably another 2 points plus some for, I guess, the conversion. A little bit higher and I'll be quite happy. It's so close to being back to break even. So the indication for me was these big contracts here. 39 and 33, massive compared to all of the other trading. And it looks like it all kind of came from one vendor. So we're long, so I want to sell, I want to get out on the ask side. I'm in profit now, so that's okay. If you want to change your order, let's say you've right-clicked, or you've clicked on the order that you're after, you can drag this up and down. I do also set the estimated P&L on the depth of market, so I know when I get to a certain price, that's where I'm going to land. As a rough guide, of course, because there is slippage and things like that. Just would like to get out very soon, though. I'm just going to remove that order and try and figure out the best point to get out. I'll put that there. Hopefully it comes up and takes me out. Just need a little bit more of a push up and we'll be done for the day. So it's quite a bearish start to the session. We did drop down, hit that close gap, and then pushed higher. We've now pushed up. So that's $200 up, $193. So that's great. Started off with a $600 loss off the bat because of the reverse and cancel. But yeah, that's probably me for the day. As I mentioned in pre-market, I didn't really see anything of super high value. It was really just me kind of throwing a few trades around, hoping for the best, looking at the order flow, and I guess having a dig at the market. Got a bit more room to move because of the 300k account rather than the 25k Apex Trader Funding Challenge, and yeah, it worked out okay. But let's see what tomorrow brings. Hopefully we get a bit of a proper setup on the pivot points, something a bit stronger to work with a bit more conviction when it comes to what direction I think the market's going to go in. That's it from me today, guys. Is there anyone in the chat who hasn't already won an account? I do have a couple left, so quickly chuck it in the chat box. If not, that's me done for the day. Quite happy with that, considering I didn't have a strong opinion on the market direction for this session. So I guess a bit of entertainment value more than anything, and just waiting to see if we actually get down. One thing to note, if we do get down to this level and the S3, so the unfilled close gap from 24th of June 2025, if we get all the way down there, I'd be hoping for a bit of a reaction long. The only consideration is the yearly R2 is a fair bit below that, so it's just obviously watching the order flow to see if the market's picking that up at that level. If not, the next level down would be the 23,100, because that's the yearly pivot point for the R2. So I'll just zoom out and show you what I mean by that. These levels here, the thicker lines on the CFD chart, are the yearly pivot points. So basically they're using the numbers from last year to identify longer term price points that might be of interest, and sometimes you get really strong rejections like this pivot rejection here. You can see the market came right down and then powered up from that pivot. So quite interesting. We also rejected off this R2 quite a few times with not too much rejection, or like not too much overextension at certain points. So very important to watch these yearly levels. That's it from me today, guys. Thanks so much for coming back and joining. Still a couple of free accounts to go, and there's that big drop, so I'm so glad I got out. I'm not sure where we're going to land, but if we do get all the way down to this price point, I'll be looking to get long. Just quick zoom in, we've got 12 contracts. I don't know if that'll be enough to turn it around. If we do head all the way down, I'll be looking for a long. Have a great trading session, guys. Best of luck, and we'll come back and see you tomorrow.